Chapter 6 First Blood. The arena was smaller than the main floor Zeno had glimpsed from outside, about half the size, but still large enough for serious combat. 16 fighters stood in a line as the announcer's voice boomed across the crowd. Welcome to the spring tournament! 16 brave fighters will compete for glory and recognition. The crowd cheered. Zeno felt his heart hammering. Murmurs swept through the spectators, some whispering odds and predictions. The air was electric with anticipation as tentative predictions were shared, rising from the excitement of drawing minor competitors all the way up to favorites like Kai. The crowd buzzed with a shared energy, each whisper mapping the arc of potential victories and inevitable clashes that lay ahead. A large board was revealed, showing 16 slots arranged in tournament format. Officials began calling out matchups as tokens were drawn. First match, number 7 versus number 12, Senna's number. She'd fight in the opening match. The drawings continued. Zeno waited, tension building. Fifth match, number 16 versus number 3. Number 3 was a boy about 17, lean and quick-looking with a confident smirk. His token indicated his fighting style, speed techniques. The ceremony concluded and fighters returned to the staging area while the first match was being prepared to begin. Zeno watched from the platform edge as Senna faced her opponent, a staff user with long reach. The fight was a masterclass in precision. Senna's twin short swords deflected and countered with surgical accuracy. She was faster, using her blades to control distance and strike at openings the staff wielder couldn't defend. The match lasted less than 3 minutes before her opponent yielded, sporting several shallow cuts. The crowd loved it. Matches 2 through 4 passed quickly. Brick.
The massive fighter literally picked up his opponent and threw him out of the ring. Disqualification by ring out. The crowd's reaction was mixed. Impressive power, but not very sporting.
Number 16 and number 3, to the ring. Zeno's stomach jumped. This was it. He walked onto the arena floor, and the crowd noise washed over him. Hundreds of voices, all focused on him and his opponent. Number 3 was already waiting, bouncing lightly on his feet with that confident smirk. First tournament, he called out. Don't worry, I'll make it quick and relatively painless. The referee positioned between them. Standard spring tournament rules. Fight until yield, knockout, or ring out. Lethal techniques are strictly forbidden. Understand? Both nodded. Competitors ready. Begin. Number 3 moved immediately, closing the distance with impressive speed. His strategy was obvious. Overwhelm the younger, smaller opponent before he could establish a defense. But Zeno had trained with Stone specifically for this. He didn't try to match the speed. Instead, he moved defensively, using minimal motion to avoid strikes while watching for patterns. Speed fighters always have patterns, Stone's voice echoed. Watch for 3 strikes, you'll see it. Strike high, strike low, feint left. Strike high, strike low, feint left. There it was. On the 3rd repetition, Zeno was ready. As number 3 committed to the low strike, Zeno stepped inside his reach and struck the pressure point at the elbow, the one for temporary paralysis. Number 3's arm went limp. Shock registered on his face. Zeno struck again, targeting the shoulder of the other arm. Both arms temporarily disabled. Number 3 stumbled backward, trying to buy time for the paralysis to wear off. But Zeno pressed the advantage, using footwork to cut off escape routes, forcing his opponent toward the ring's edge. Yield! Number 3 called out, recognition of defeat clear in his voice. Winner, number 16! The crowd erupted. Zeno had won his first tournament fight in under 2 minutes, using a technique most of them had never seen before. As he returned to the staging area, several competitors looked at him with new interest. Senna gave him an approving nod. Even Brick seemed to be evaluating him with more respect. The first round concluded with 8 fighters advancing. Zeno had made it through. But as he watched the other winners, he began to understand what Mara had meant about learning. These were talented fighters. The ones who'd advanced were fast, strong, tactical, or some combination of all 3. And he'd only faced one of the weaker competitors. The real challenges were still ahead. The 2-hour rest period felt both too long and too short. Zeno found a quiet corner where he could review what he'd learned. His first tournament fight had gone exactly as Stone had taught him: observe, adapt, exploit the opening. But number 3 had been predictable, and the pressure point effects had worked perfectly because his opponent hadn't trained against them. The next round would be harder. "Not bad for your first match," a voice said. Zeno looked up to find a boy about 17 with black spiked hair and dark eyes. He moved with the confidence of someone who'd proven himself again and again, one of the winners from the first round. "Thanks. I'm Kai. That pressure point technique is interesting. I've never seen anything like it in competition." He studied Zeno with professional curiosity. "You made it look easy, but I'm guessing it only works that well when opponents don't know how to defend against it." "Probably," Zeno admitted. "Well, you won. That's what matters." Kai moved toward his own rest area. "Good luck in round 2. Something tells me we might face each other eventually." After he left, Zeno sat alone, processing the match. He'd won, but Kai was right. The novelty of pressure points had been part of the advantage. Against experienced fighters who understood the technique, it would be harder. The announcement came: "Round 2 in 30 minutes." Zeno stood, testing his energy. 8 fighters remained. 4 more matches. The winner advances to the semifinals. The path to the finals was getting narrower. But he'd taken the first step.